Hi, I'm Erin Power.
And I'm Laura Rupsis.
We're certified health coaches, and this is Health Coach Radio.
This podcast is about the art, science, and business of health coaching.
We share our insider tips to help you become a better coach and entrepreneur.
And we interview expert guests to discover how they've made it in this growing field.
It's time for health coaches to make an impact.
It's time for Health Coach Radio.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Health Coach Success Virtual Masterclass. My co-host Laura and I worked hard to pull together this special online event just for you. It's a 5-day mini course in which we interview the best and brightest health coach and marketing experts on the planet to try to understand how they've become such great coaches and entrepreneurs. Included in the 20-plus expert interviews are some names you might recognize. Primal Health Coach Institute founder Mark Sisson, celebrity nutrition expert and New York Times bestselling author JJ Virgin, author, cardiologist, and staunch health coach advocate Dr. William Davis, Michelle Liotta of Health Coach Power Community, Michelle Norris, CEO of Paleo FX and ID Life Nutrition, and many, many more. The Health Coach Success Virtual Masterclass is now available and totally free for a limited time. Check it out at primalhealthcoach.com/success. PJ Taei is the founder of Ustream, a very cool content sharing tool for online entrepreneurs that lets you share and monetize video. In fact, inside this episode is a tour of how to build an online video sharing platform for your health and fitness business. You might want to check this episode out on YouTube. Search Health Coach Radio Podcast on YouTube to watch the video interview. This was such a timely discussion, too, as the world of brick and mortar health and fitness businesses ground to a halt during the COVID pandemic. And coaches and influencers struggle to figure out how to ply their trade in a virtual setting. Many of us just figured it out as best we could, but platforms like Uscreen honestly make the entire online content sharing business so much easier. It's definitely worth checking out. Remember that our show notes can always be found at primalhealthcoach.com/radio. We'd love to have you screenshot your podcast player and tag us on Instagram at Health Coach Radio, and we'll tag you back. We hope you learn a lot here and get excited about sharing your online video content with this great chat with Uscreen founder PJ Taei.
All right, PJ Taei, it's fantastic to meet you and talk to you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Thanks for having me.
So I think this conversation is going to be uniquely powerful for all of those coaches trying to just get themselves out there and get their content out there, but most importantly, monetized. Ding, ding, ding. So that's a little teaser to what we're going to be talking about. But first, as always, we love to start with just a little bit of your background story, who you are, where you came from, and how you got to where you are and producing or putting together your company, Uscreen.
Awesome. Yeah, so my name's PJ. I grew up in Maryland. I live in DC now, not too far from Maryland. We're a tri-state area. And this is my second company. My first company was a web hosting company. So I hosted a lot of websites. A lot of them were selling physical goods, equipment, lots of DVDs, which then got me in 2014 to help find some of those customers a solution to actually stream DVDs. And my first dozen customers were actually all fitness, probably 90%. There was a few kids. One of them was called Video Vocab, and then Evolution 20 by Christine Bullock. She's still a customer. These were all individual influencers, trainers, health and wellness customers that had DVDs that were looking to sell videos, streaming videos. So that came on to the idea of Uscreen, which we're a platform now that helps you sell and monetize videos. So any type of influencer, fitness, health and wellness yogi comes to us and says, hey, I have this YouTube channel or I have a coaching program. I want to take it online, put a paywall up or at least the registration required to be able to offer that content in a structured manner to my audience. So ultimately, it is a monetization tool to make money from your fans and audience and customers and students. And probably 30-40% of our customers, I'd say about 40%, is fitness, all the way from Yoga with Adrienne, she's our customer, her membership site is with us, to your Choose Fitness, Vita Fitness, and Humming Puppy is another yogi that, or or a yoga studio that everybody's talking about. So all these platforms are powered by Ustream.
Amazing. It makes a lot of sense for the fitness coach, the fitness influencer. It's so timely as well right now, especially because we're recording this at the end of April, and gyms are closed, and a lot of these folks have lost their platform to ply their trade. Have you seen any kind of shift in your business since this all kind of happened?
Yeah, absolutely. We did. To be honest, we didn't expect it, right? It was just, we were going about our business and trying to do the best we can. And then all of a sudden we got an influx of leads. And it's been like that for the last 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, we've probably significantly grown, our customer base, both from an end user standpoint and creator standpoint, the fitness influencers per se, or the coaches. But what's cool now is about 6 to 8 weeks after, we get a lot of emails, and this was unexpected as well, that literally people are writing saying, you guys have saved our business. We love you. Thank you so much. This is what we have coming in now. So Humming Puppy is actually a good example that I had never heard of them. They're an Australian-based small studio. They have a handful of studios. They launched one in New York, and then they launched a streaming service as soon as Corona happened. And they're making significant revenue from the streaming site that is, I would say, equal, if not more, to one of their studios. So they're significantly happy and grateful. So we're really happy in that aspect. And as soon as Corona happened, as a team, we didn't even have a discussion about this. We felt the responsibility to help all these fitness folks coming to us and saying, our gyms are closed. We need to get content from our instructors to our members. And that's really what we see. People actually, what gyms are also learning, this is interesting, what physical gyms, I go to Vita. Vita is a gym in DC here, and it's a well-known name. They're a customer of ours now. What I learned from these gyms is specifically they learn that it's the instructors who have the following. Of course, people go to the gym, but people love the instructors. So the specific instructors on the site that these physical gyms and studios are putting up are getting massive following, because you can see in the analytics that they're getting so much viewership. So that loyal following is really towards that instructor, and gyms now value that. So I think what will actually happen in the future is gyms are realizing, or individuals, these instructors are realizing that they also have a power to sell their own content and monetize that. And we see that all the time. We see instructors, individuals coming and saying, hey, I work with one of your actual brands, but I want to break off and launch my own site. And obviously we don't have any discretion against that. So, we work with them to do that. And that's going to happen, I think, more and more. Individual trainers will actually launch their own membership site.
Yeah, I think so too. Laura and I both are going to jump all over this, because Laura owns a gym, and I'm an instructor at a gym. So my gym obviously is closed, and I feel like instructors have known for a long time that we were the retention tool all along. The treadmills and the bench presses weren't, kind of thing, right? So I think that, I don't know, that I'm just riffing, but I think that the whole gym culture is going to experience a renaissance as people, first of all, the consumer is like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at working out at home. It turns out I didn't know I could do that. Right. I never worked out at home. I hate working out at home, but I've been hitting it for 2 months now. And it's like, yeah, actually I don't mind it. Yeah, but and I think, but to your point too, PJ, instructors are realizing the value in the content they can put out, and that they are the draw. I think that I do think that the fitness industry is going to be a little different when this is all said and done.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
I think a lot of people that for years said, I can't work out from home because I always find some excuse not to. And I think they're finding that under the right circumstances, they're going to find a way. And I love the idea that this now kind of helps merge some of the benefit of what you get from being in the gym is with that instructor that drives you, without having to kill 20 minutes to get there, go and change your shoes, fit around and chat with people, go to your class or do your thing and then come home, right? So what is a 2 or 3 hour project, depending on how you like to work out, where your gym is, can now be condensed down to 45 minutes or an hour. Just thinking about the standpoint of efficiencies, right? And then from the standpoint of the trainer and the business owner is ways to create different sources of revenue, right? and being able to reach people you ordinarily wouldn't be able to reach, right? I mean, if I'm a gym here in LaGrange, Illinois, I can now reach people in, I don't know, Australia. I mean, right? Sky's the limit. The world is the limit. So I love this. And now, so can you clarify for me, is this a streaming platform, or can you also do just embedded video, like evergreen video? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so when you say streaming, to answer your question, it's live streaming, right? Just like you do a YouTube live, and it has a live chat. So imagine YouTube live behind the paywall, requires registration, requires you to pay. You can have different sets of content for different groups of users, for example. So there's a lot of control. You also know who your users are. On YouTube and Instagram, you have no idea who your users are. It's just the fan box or the subscription box is a vanity number. Who are they? Okay, I got 7,000 subscribers. They're not paying you. But it also does on demand, right? So replays in that aspect. And then the live streaming auto records to on demand. You can then organize it into a catalog. So you basically build this streaming site that's very similar to Netflix. And then you also get your own app on iOS. So you go to the App Store right now, you look for Find What Feels Good or Koboko Fitness. These then launch you launch their app, and then you can purchase that content and gain access to that content. So for example, I'll do a quick share of my screen here. This is Koboko Fitness. So she's an South African influencer, right? Has a YouTube channel, Instagram. This is her site on Ustream. See, these are her unlimited access 24/7. So this is her on demand. And then she obviously has her catalog here of content. You see how she's organized it into premium workouts, YouTube content, no ads, right? Her belly fat focus program, her body fix, and then you can scroll through this content. It's that same experience on Roku. This is a Roku app or an Apple TV app. I get this app in the App Store for you. Wanderlust TV is our customer, that famous festival. You go to Roku, you find that app, you sign up, you have all that content. So yeah, it's on demand live streaming, and then it's also on the web and all the platforms. So you get to like 99% of the platform, including smart TVs.
That's amazing. And that
Wow.
landing page that you showed us, that's built into the Uscreen platform as well?
Yeah, there's a block builder. You go just like Squarespace or Wix. You go in, you build, pick and choose these blocks. You build this gorgeous site. You can have an FAQs page, support page. It's one of the things we initially started doing is we wanted to make it all in one, especially in fitness, right? You want to train, you want to work out, you want to create good content. Everyone is like that within all industries because we have a lot of e-learning. They don't want to sit there and do the technical parts of the platform. Right? Already putting your users in there, managing is already, okay, I got to manage my users. It's easy to do, but beyond that, we do everything technical. So yeah, it's all built in.
That's amazing.
Wow. Like, so fitness is an obvious each sort of group, but I'm also thinking from a health coaching perspective, or people that are in this space, what a fantastic medium for people that like to do cooking classes or cooking demos, where you can do a live here, look, I'm preparing whatever it is. And now what you can have is an evergreen library of you teaching people how to meal prep, how to cook certain dishes, things like that. Anything that requires any kind of live demo would be fantastic here. So fitness is a obvious fit, but something like that would really be amazing. And then I'm thinking from the standpoint of health coaching for those that want it to feel like a live class where they are teaching in front of a group, where they want to be able to write on a whiteboard or share screens and things like that. You can do it live once and then have it. And I'm also thinking from a fitness perspective, how many fitness instructors would love to be able to coach one class a day, but then offer it evergreen throughout the rest of the day?
That's right. You know, that's exactly what we're seeing. That's right. Yeah. Group classes done once a day. I mean, all the big names that I told you about, shoes and stuff, they're doing the same thing. They're going to do 1, 2, 3 group classes per day, which then becomes on demand. And people do watch that evergreen.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think about since our gym was closed down, it was what it was, right? We fought like dogs to stay open as long as we could until we just had to shut down. And so my partner Hector, like I do one morning Zoom class at 6:30 in the morning, and then he does one at 5:30 at night. Everybody else is kind of out of luck if they can't make it, but we do have the workout posted. You know, we let all of our members sort of borrow equipment, but how cool would it be if I taught my 6:30 and Hector taught his 5:30, but then anybody who couldn't make it could then go in and participate and feel as though they're part of a live class, even if they did it at 7 or at 9 a.m. or whatever. So I just see the applications of this giving, because here's a desire we hear about being able to leverage beyond what your capability as one person without having to hire others. You just might not be in a position to hire a bunch of other trainers or a bunch of other coaches yet, right? And this is one great way to be able to create that additional capacity for your practice.
Yeah, that's absolutely a really good point. It's on, for our business, obviously it's a benefit that everybody's going to stream content. But this is my personal view. I love the gym. I love showing up to the gym. Okay. I love that atmosphere. So, this is from someone that owns and operates a streaming company, but I love the gym. I like going to the gym. When I think there was a study done, and you guys would know better than I do, but when you're around that environment, right, your product, everybody else around you, you want to work out, right? It's hard to do that at home. So I actually never like working out at home, right? So in this case, when Corona happened, I was forced to do that, and I've actually gotten used to it, and I really enjoy it. So it's absolutely an awareness factor for the world to say, I can work out at home. My mom is the same. She goes to Lifetime Fitness. She swears by it, gets up every morning at 5 a.m. She's there, but now she likes working out at home as well. So it is an alternative. I do think in-gym workouts will always be there. It's never going to go away. But due to this virus and the change that is happening, the fitness world is transformed. I think it is transforming as we speak, and the online workouts and virtual workouts are here to stay. I think they've always been here, but the adoption has been slower. So now the awareness factor and the maturity of can I stream workouts is absolutely here to stay, and it's going to grow significantly. And the numbers of the revenues our customers make, which is astonishing to us, and I'm talking 40 grand a month, 50 grand a month, 80,000, 100K from individuals per month or small studios that make on our platform within 3 weeks, 4 weeks of launching is astonishing for us too. So the money's there. It's not just a hoax. So I think it is transforming the industry.
Yeah, I guess previously, I mean, you knew the big names. Beachbody was always on demand, and Les Mills on demand. But I mean, if you have your favorite instructor and they can go on demand, that's even better. I don't know. I would have a hard time. I think that's one of the reasons why I shied away from home workouts as well, because I don't know. I kind of like you, PJ. I like my gym. I like my people. I don't really want to go and train with some fitness celeb necessarily, but I'm trying to think about this from the context. I'm just trying to wrap my brain around other uses. So it's obvious for, like Laura said, the fitness coach, the cooking coach, cooking demos. Do you have anybody who's using it in more of a teaching, speaking, kind of in coaching sort of way?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Uscreen has about 3,000 customers, right, that are active distributing content. And I mean, there's over 7,000 on the platform that have set up trial and using it in some small fashion. But as far as that goes, 40% is fitness, 30 to 40%, I don't know the exact number in that, because it's changing recently. And then the rest is mostly e-learning. 10-15% is entertainment. Entertainment being films, some documentaries. It's kind of like, I wouldn't call it Netflix competitors, but they are similar indie filmmakers. There's definitely some comedy, right? And then the rest is e-learning. So e-learning is a massive amount. You have people that teach English. You have influencers, lots of influencer content recently coming, Instagrammers, whatever it may be, that they're trying to especially teach something, so like Mimi Bouchard is a customer of ours who recently joined. She's launching something called the Mimi Method. So it's basically health and wellness content. It's around meditation, healthy eating, and yoga. That's what she knows, and she has a solid following. So I see there's probably 100 of those that have recently joined, in the last month or two. The real Maxwell. So these are all influencers within the industry, within Alta, how to make money, how to do this, how to live a lavish life, whatever you name. And they have an audience. They have an audience on Instagram. Now they're monetizing it. And we have tools, marketing tools built in to take and build funnels to monetize a free following and do giveaways to bring them into your membership site. So yeah, absolutely. Teaching English, teaching languages, food is definitely Foodable is a big network on our channel. EverTalk is another. So there's all types of content.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to ask about marketing tools and kind of whether you incorporated that. So can you give us an example of kind of some of the marketing tools available on your platform, or just kind of what you suggest or recommend for people on how to start that and kind of that free following? Do you need to, is it logical to build a following on social media first before you jump into a paid platform like this? What's your recommendation there?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So if you already have a following anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it may be, you obviously have a reach. So it's very easy to tell those people, come buy what I have, right? It's very easy. It's a plug and play scenario in this case. And we have marketing tools where you do a free giveaway, give away one video, send them an email sequence telling them about your membership site. And then there's abandoned cart sequences, there's email automations, email marketing. These are all built in, easy to use.
Wow.
So that's absolutely an easy way to get started. But there's a good amount of people that don't have followings that start on Ustream. You obviously need to know how to reach your audience. If you're going to launch a site, a training program, but you don't know how to get eyeballs on it, you don't know how to run a Facebook ad, you don't have any following, you don't even have an email list, so you're obviously starting from scratch. Has that happened? Yeah, probably 10, 20% of our audience has done that, but they know how to reach their users. But the vast majority of people that have followings, it's very easy to plug into that to monetize that following.
Wow. Oh my gosh, it's amazingly robust. I love that it has email automations. That's one thing that my learning management system that I'm using doesn't have. And that leaves me having to figure out Zapier connections, and I can't do those despite being relatively techie person. So I don't know how a non-techie person can figure that stuff out. So I really am appreciative that you have that. I kind of get into the weeds of some of the moving pieces a little bit. So I'm really curious, like, very, very granular question. What kind of payment integrations do you have? Like PayPal, Square, Stripe, the whole 9 yards?
Exactly. All of those.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. And then we have SEPA direct debit coming out this summer. If you're European, you can do it.
Oh,
it's
nice.
a direct debit. I didn't know about it until our team was looking into it, or people requesting it. It basically connects to your bank account. Europeans use it where it does a direct debit. And then we have like Google Pay, Apple Pay coming out this fall, which is really cool. Directly through your browser, through your phone, you can pay. And then obviously you have your credit card, Stripe, PayPal. We have Authorized Net, and then we have another Norwegian gateway, or it could be Dutch. I think it's called Adyen, Adyen. It just makes it easier for global audience to be able to use that. We also have a Ustream Gateway, which is for people that cannot, that are in China, for example. We have audiences there. Actually, yoga is growing very fast in China and fitness. So if they can't use Stripe in those countries, then they can use our gateway. We're basically the front to collect payment, and then we pay them out.
That's awesome. Nice.
Wow. Speaking of technology, for those of us who are not particularly techie, right now I'm just kind of getting by on my iPhone. And so I did invest in a Mevo sort of, it's a live streaming camera that I'm trying to figure out how to use. But what kind of equipment at the very least should somebody be investing in to be able to make this look professional and do a good job with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So it's actually very easy, to be honest. We have quite a few content creators that use iPhones, and it's vertical view on the player, but people love it. They don't care. They follow the trainer, right? One of them, it's called the Workout, but the spelling of workout is W like Krout or something. You can Google it. You can find it. It's a little bit of a weird spelling, but she has a killer following. Here, I found it, THEWKOUT.com. Okay, the WKOut.com. So She's doing awesome on that platform. She's British and she's absolutely killing it, but she's using her iPhone. Someone's shooting her. It probably has a gyro for stability. So what I would advise with shooting good content for video on demand, because it's being recorded, then you upload it for evergreen, right? Key is camera can be very straightforward. A simple digital SLR or an iPhone. It does not have to be fancy. iPhones or Android phones are amazing now cameras, but stability is important. Nobody likes a rocky, shaky video. So at least get a gyro, like DJI gyros are $100. And then mic is important. Nobody likes a fuzzy mic, right? A lot of background noise, swishing if I'm moving my mic right now. Nobody likes that. And then keep it simple. Your Mevo, your webcam that I have a Logitech, all of those can absolutely do both on demand and live streaming. So on your laptop, you put a very basic software called OBS or Streamlabs on your iPhone. Those are what capture and do the live streaming. So most of our audience is not super technical and they're using these very basic softwares. When you contact our technical support, we have a specific page for all the recommended gear and all that stuff and how to get set up with every single different software that comes up often that we recommend. So it's not that hard.
That's great. That's really great. I'm working on a side project with a friend of mine right now who, well, this is perfect. She trains spin instructors. So she's a spin instructor trainer. And she had been hosting these live training weekends. Of course, she can't do that now. So she's taking it onto Zoom. And, you know, Zoom's fine. It has some limitations. But she's got a ring light and an iPhone, and she's got a little cheap lav mic that with a long cord that goes to her iPhone, and it's looking pretty good actually. So I think that's really great. I love that you asked that, Laura, because it reminds me of like this idea, like even our health coaching clients, like before I can start with you as a health coach, I need to go buy groceries. I need to go get some new workout clothes. I need to, like, we feel like we have to level up our game before we can begin, but really what you can just begin. Like we really encourage people to just begin. And so platforms like yours make it just too easy to get into it.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
a good point. The ring light makes it simple. That's a really good investment. They're very affordable, under $100. And when you said cycle, we recently got a lot of cycle customers as well. And that's actually a very good one. Cycle studios are very easy. You got a stationary bike and you're putting a ring light or a camera in front of that, and then you're live with the instructor. So basically, Uscreen helps companies launch Peloton competitors. And what's awesome is they kick butt. They really do. They grow really fast. And it just shows that it's not one company like Peloton can't take it all. It just proves the concept.
Right. Well, on that note, and I don't know if this is out of scope for you to answer, but one thing that she and I was helping her with this technology she was working on. And so I'm definitely going to float the idea of Uscreen past her after this conversation. But one hurdle that we came up against was music licensing. Because you really can't, you can't play your Spotify playlist technically in the background for your spin class if you're monetizing it. So do you have any insight into that piece?
Great question.
Yeah. Great question. So what happens is, what we see most doing is they put links to the Apple Music, Spotify in the description. So you can technically, you as a consumer need to go click the link, get a registration subscription to gain access. There's no rights there, and they do that all the time. And then royalty-free music is very common. So that gets used a lot in live streams because people are doing 1-2 live streams a day at the most. That in itself is a good amount of engagement. So they're using royalty free. And then if you're a big gym, like your, Choose Fitness, Chelsea Piers and stuff like that, then you're going to those different licensees or license, providers and saying, hey, do you allow me to stream this type of music? And it's either you're paying an extra fee or basically negotiating to do that. But we see all three, I would say, to be honest.
Just on the topic of royalty-free music, do you have any recommendations for ones that aren't terrible?
Yeah, good point. I don't have any good recommendations. I think the free ones that you freely find are the most common that I run into. There is some good music out there that are royalty free, absolutely, especially around fitness. I think it's a matter of finding them. I don't know off the top of my head any that I would specifically recommend.
Okay. Yeah, we you know, because we own a gym and because we occasionally post a photo of people working out at our gym, we were getting emails from somebody who kept attempting to send us basically a licensing to use that music for some sort of fee. So that kind of service is out there. I don't know what Hector eventually did with it, but those are options out there if you've got the budget for it. I don't know what they actually cost, but you know, all of this techie stuff I think is really important to address because it's the one area that I think most of us are the most insecure over, that we just don't, you know, and for many people, it's like a deal breaker. well, I don't know how to do any of this, so I'm just not going to start. Right. And I just want to encourage everybody listening to start someplace, even if it's just in a free group and posting free video content on your social media page or what have you. Build a following. You've got now a lot of goodwill built up because you've delivered a lot of just free, amazing content, and people then following you that really want to up-level their game and want to stay with you. They're going to think you've more than earned, right, the ability to start paying for this and a membership site. So let's say you've got someone who's been doing this, right, and they're ready to kind of monetize this and they're ready to get started. What's their first step? What do they kind of need to have in place, and what's their first step?
Great question. Okay, so first, before I tell you the first step, I think you made a really good point. Obviously, the unknown is intimidating, right, and scary. One of the first things I would invite people to do is just go to our website, uscreen.tv, check examples, click examples, and look at what other people are doing, training, right? Other trainers, what are they doing? Other brands, other fitness brands, studios, cycle studios. And right away, you're seeing how easy it is and how the site is built. So the first step is videos. That's all you need. If you bring the videos, we do everything else, right? So it's an all-in-one platform. We really take that barrier to entry significantly down. So if you don't know, you don't have anything to teach and you don't have a skill, right? Then it's a little bit obviously harder, but we're not talking about primarily that issue, right? We're talking about someone who's a trainer, who has a fitness brand, studio, whatever that may be.
Health coach, educator, any of those.
Coach, educator, anybody. In that aspect, you have a method, whatever that may be that you're trying to teach or distribute or share. In that aspect, it's very simple. You pick up a camera, you pick up your iPhone, you start recording, you think of a program, you come look at our examples page and see how content is organized. You have categories and specific topics. That's it. Each topic can be 3 minutes long. You know, cooking 101, cooking 102, that's enough to start a membership subscription site. Another myth is people think they need to have lots of content. That's actually not true. You got to have initially enough content that I come in and I see a method or something that is, I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm willing to buy this. I like Mimi, for example, or what she's providing. After that, it's a matter of a few videos a month per se. That's the average, to be honest. It's not a day, it's not a week, it's per month. I already have enough content to go through. Also, you can take 90 minutes of video and make it into small mini trainings. That's why fitness fits so well into what we do, is because the consumption of small pieces of workouts is so easy to organize. And then we also have filters, filter by posture, filter by length, filter by intensity. These are all built in, you can just set them. So you filter by duration. So you're right away doing these filtering and people are finding your content, your viewers in that case. So if you bring the videos and you know what you're gonna teach, you're already doing it in the studio, it's so easy to translate that. This is new for us. When Corona happened, we got the biggest influx of physical gyms and studios and trainers coming to us. Before that, out of our full fitness client base, about 25% were physical. They had a physical studio, like Bare Intensity, right? That actually had a Calinetics. These were all physical studios. But then we got a massive influx of physical gyms and studios that were getting shut down. They were like, okay, guys, we've heard about this. We've wanted to do it. Burn Boot Camp is our customer. That's a good example. Everybody knows Burn Boot Camp. They just launched on demand with us. So Then they come, they sign up, and they organize that content, and then viewers are able to watch that content. So I think it's just a matter of pretty much doing it, like you said, is really stepping up and saying, I'm already doing this in the gym. I'm already doing it with my trainers. I just need to pick up a camera and capture it. That's it. You got to capture it. That's the answer, I think. Get the videos.
So would you say, really to get started, you'd probably need to front load enough of what you would consider to be like enough onboarding content, maybe a week's worth of content, 2 weeks tops, to just get started. Then you can start just adding on a monthly basis, maybe weekly basis, something like that. Like, you know, I agree with you. You don't have to have the entire thing figured out, because not everybody's got the time on their hands. Sorry, the garbage truck's going by. Apologize. You know, to get through all your content in a short period of time anyway. So if you kind of think through how you want this to flow, as long as you've got maybe a week's worth of digestible content to get people up and running with you, then you just kind of deliver it as you go. Is that adequate, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually a great way to put it. I'm going to use that moving forward. Enough onboarding content. That's actually the right way to put it. That's what you need. Onboarding content. Enough to get them off the ground. Look, people don't think that far, to be honest. People are very simple. It's like people follow people. So people follow trainers. People are following instructors. People follow brands. But they follow people more than they follow brands. They follow Bill Gates rather than following Microsoft, right? So in this, it's the same thing for the gyms. People love their instructors. So if I see an instructor, and I'm going on YouTube right now to do my workout. For example, I usually do our customers' workouts because it's premium. There's no ads. I hate seeing ads in the middle of the workout. Then I'm sweaty. I'm trying to find the remote. It's a big mess. So in this case, it's very easy for the instructors to be able to get a little bit of content out, enough to engage you to say, you know what, I really like this instructor and I want to follow her program, rather than someone I don't even know on YouTube, which they do a really good job, to be honest. Some of the YouTube content is obviously awesome, but I rather follow an instructor like Lindsay that I go to the gym and she does her cycling. I would love to, I know her, right? So in that aspect, it's enough to get you onboarded. That's well said.
To follow up on that, out of curiosity, is there scheduling options? Can you kind of drip content on kind of a schedule if you had a program?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely, Aaron, needed for fitness. So you can do challenges. Day one, I get one video, I get an email and a push notification to my app that the content's available. Day two, I get another email. Day two is now available. So if you've ever, I'm naming another yogi like Chelsea Chorus. She does some really hardcore. She does these 10-day flow challenges, 7-day handstand challenges on Wanderlust. So they get a lot of people in for free to do the challenges. I've never tried it, to be honest. And then after that, they're subscribing to that content because they're in there every day. They have access to one challenge, but they're seeing all the other stuff that they need to subscribe, right? So they're coming back and let me try this other program by this person. So yeah, you can drip content, you can schedule releases in the future, you can even have end dates. And then the live streaming has a countdown when you go live, similar to Instagram. It says, hey, we're live, come join us. You also get an email notification. Yeah, so there's some really cool tools in there.
Amazing, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much people are charging, for example. I know that's probably like a massively broad scale, but like just ballpark-ish, like give us an example.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, a range. So two things. One is free trial. On average, the most common free trial is 7 to 10 days. You do not have to provide a trial. If you're new to your audience and you don't really have a really loyal following that wants what you have, like the workout, that site that I gave you, she has a loyal following. They're diehard. Another DC studio joined here. It's called Cut 7. They have awesome workouts, all body weight, right? That's the beauty of streaming. Someone from Australia can watch this DC studio called Cut 7. So they have a diehard following. So those types of following that you know your customers want, you don't need to offer a free trial. But your yoga with Adrian, Sarah Beth Yoga, these big names, they do free trials. 7 to 10 days is an average, maybe 14 days. Your very competitive market of, let's say, yoga, for example, if you're mainstream yoga, we have a lot of yoga that's very niche, like Tint Yoga. prenatal yoga, lots of yoga. Those are not, I would say, your competitive market. First, on your competitive market, your mainstream, your yoga with Adrian Sarabeth yoga, they're charging on average about $10 to $15 a month. You would be surprised if I told you the average price of yoga on our platform is $15 to $30 a month. Oh. Not cheap. One subscriber. Have you heard of, it's called, I can't pronounce it. It's Brazilian. It's a method of yoga. It's called Kayut yoga, K-A-U-I-T. They charge $80 a month. So very common, $15 to $30 a month. Your CrossFit type workouts, MVMT, stuff like that we see a lot of, body weight, it's called calisthenics, is it? What's that called?
Yep, calisthenics.
I said it right, okay. Those types of workouts, which are common on Ustream, we see anywhere from $14 to $20. Basically, I don't see a $10 standpoint that often. That $9.99 price point is your very competitive market, and you have a lot of competitors. Everyone else is willing to pay for your content. Streaming content is convenience, right? Obviously, the gym is brick and mortar. I go to the gym. I love the gym personally. But the fact that I can offer something to the palm of your hands at instant gratification is actually a convenience. It's worth a lot of money, and that value is starting to show.
I can see this being used for, I'm just thinking about all the coaches and thought leaders and influencers and anybody listening who's in any kind of space. Like if you were leading a meditation practice or something, I was even thinking about this, like podcasters are kind of going behind the paywall a little bit, like in Patreon and Mighty Networks and things like that. This is a really slick way of doing that. If you're trying to do a video podcast and get a little bit of, monetize it a little bit, there's honestly incredible opportunity with this. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. You brought up two really good names. Mighty Networks is actually a community tool, right? So it's an engagement tool. We have a very slimmed down version of that coming out this year. So it's going to create engagement for the members. People want to have a community. It's not just, all right, I'm subscribed to the workout, watching the content. I want to have an engagement community with others in that program. So that's very important, high on our list. And then Patreon is pretty much a community where you go and you donate money. We get a lot of Patreon folks coming to us and they're like, we want to own our audience. We want to have access to them. We want to offer a organized fashion of working out rather than dropping a video in a feed and donating $30 to you. So we see that very often.
Good point. Yeah, this idea of owning the audience is becoming more and more important.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to ask you about the community piece too, because for a coach running, for like a health coach, like somebody who's not in the fitness space per se, but is actually just in sort of the health nutrition space, running a nutrition challenge or something, the community piece is pretty important. I'm doing one right now and I'm doing it via Facebook, which people are kind of lukewarm about Facebook these days, right? They're getting a lot, every time I run one of these challenges, I get more and more people who say, I want to join your challenge, but I'm not using Facebook right now. And I don't want to join if I don't have to. So I think, the community piece would be really, really, really essential to have. I'm glad that you're folding that in there.
Yeah. And just, thinking through my universe from a CrossFit perspective, I 100, even though we're offering workouts and we're doing Zoom workouts, all of us can't wait till we can get back together and see each other in the gym. The feel is so different. But one of the big benefits of the whole community that we build, and I think one of the positive things that CrossFit does is the ability then to create a sense of kind of healthy competition with each other, and the ability for people to say, here's my score, and be able to kind of maybe compete with a friend of yours, or most importantly, just be able to see your own progress and kind of how you're doing and working through that stuff. But, and even just thinking for folks that are just looking for a secondary source of revenue, in addition to your high ticket coaching practice, right? Even if you've got a membership site of $10 a month, you get 500 people in there. That's $5,000 a month in just ongoing revenue on top of your kind of higher ticket one-on-one coaching program or challenges that you're running. Not to mention, and that's just membership site. What if you run a challenge, a short-term challenge, or what if you have a short-term class that you're then getting these like chunks of revenue? There's so many different ways you can use a platform like this to just continue to enhance your own cash flow, sources of revenue, different ways that people can actually experience you and what it is you offer. Can you talk a little bit to the breadth of the differences in what people can offer on your platform besides the live streaming and then just like the membership site? How are other people using it as well?
Yeah, you two are so amazing. You hit every single point of like what everybody in fitness is doing.
I love it.
Yeah, all the way from the challenges to what they charge and all that good stuff. Yeah, so really good point. So first on monetization, you can sell free content. So if you're already charging them at your gym, you can add them and sync the two. So you can do that. And then like ABC Financial, they have a very simple webhook API that you can connect. So add user, remove user. Same with your MotionSoft, your MindBody. We have a MindBody integration coming out, so it makes it simple. And so you can do free members, right? You can do free trials. You can monetize with subscription and different tiers and different terms, right? You can do bundles. Bundles are upsells. You can do one-time sales, pay-per-view, rental, right? Obviously, there's live stream, there's on demand, there's different ways to organize content. And then types of content. So you can do video, you can do audio, podcasts, you can do downloadables. So a lot of nutritional guides, workout programs, coaches have charts and playbooks, so you can do any kind of downloadable. And it shows up on the app. There's literally a PDF icon, you click it and then it opens. Same with a downloadable like an audio. And then, you can have little descriptions per video. So especially in working out, we launched this actually only for fitness. I think it's the primary audience that uses it. So per video, if you're doing a 10-day challenge and it's a sequence of day 1, day 2, day 3, per video, you can actually put a small description. Don't hold your breath. Don't forget to breathe. So every little pointer, and it shows up on the app. So when you click that actual chapter, it's a small little snippet. So it helps with being able to educate the user as they're going along the platform.
Man, no stone unturned. This is very cool. I want to circle back to this filter that you kind of mentioned a second ago, or minutes ago. So you were saying there's a filter built into the Ustream platform. So if I want to search for dumbbell chest workouts, because all I have is a set of dumbbells at home or something like that, I can search the entire Ustream as a user. I can search the entire Ustream library, and it'll pull up different members. Or how do people like how do consumers get into various?
Yeah, great question.
You're showing us this gal's page. Anybody who's watching this on YouTube, so feasibly, I may have been directed here by her. But what if I just rolled into Ustream looking for a yoga workout? Can I search through all the available ones?
No, we don't have a marketplace where you find everybody, and people actually prefer that because they want to own their brand. So our brand is not nowhere here. It belongs to Tint Yoga. So just like Aaron Powers Yoga, it would be your routine, your content. I would come on your site and find that content. And then as far as filters go, here's filters. They have difficulty, intensity, language, right? So then you have yoga with Adrienne, for example. I'm going to go to her. This is all powered by Ustream. That's her landing page. And then see, she has duration, level, intensity, posture, focus.
So the user can identify what filters they want. Can we come up with anything at all we can think of?
Anything. You can do any filter you like. And I'm going to search. I'm going to search in here. I'm going to say, there's this program I like called Crazy in Love. You see how they've organized the different chapters. The first 2 are free. The third one has a lock. You can drip these. There's that small description I was telling you about. Then see, third one has a lock. I can buy it for subscription or one time. So you see how they organize this chapter list? And the first 2 was even free. So I get and then you can do Chromecast AirPlay right from here. You have picture in picture, so I can move the player. You see that? And I'm on your site watching their videos.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have little cool things, favorites, comments here. And then look, I got trainer profiles, all the videos from this trainer. I can have instructor profiles. You see this? So you got all the instructors here. So it really fits well for fitness. It's probably why we're doing so well. And people, I mean, we have customers from competitors from WordPress that come to us and they're like, this is amazing. It's what we've been looking for. And they launch in a few days. They launch the same day. They launch in a week and they're making great revenues. So we're honestly proud that we're able to help this space so well and actually get compliments from people that were saving their business. Completely being honest, that was very unexpected, right? We were like, okay, we're a service, let's try and help people. But then we really got positive feedback and being able to generate revenues for studios and gyms that are completely shut down, trainers, whatever that may be, or additional revenues.
Man, it's beautiful. It's very impressive. If I was in the fitness space, I would jump on this immediately. Laura, you got to get on this.
I am. Yeah, I mean, I'm already kind of putting I am transitioning my business. I am, knock on wood, getting the heck out of Illinois and moving to Florida, northern Florida, but I had to sell my house first, right? And I've been telling myself, you know what, I'm not going to stress myself out trying to make this transition because I'm trying to get my house on the market. I got a million things going on. But now with this coronavirus, I'm like, I can't go anywhere anyway. I'm not coaching at the gym. I'm doing stuff through Zoom anyway. All right, so I'm going to just get started. So what I did is I just threw out there, hey, I'm starting this free Facebook group, and it's all about how to be harder to kill. Anybody who's as pissed off as I am that wants to make themselves just healthier in general, stronger in general, harder to kill in air quotes, come join this group. It's free, blah, blah, blah. So I had like over 200, almost 250 people join it just through my normal personal page. And I'm doing once a week, just Facebook lives. And then I'm doing these daily little videos, and I'm going to save all this content. And then the idea being, now that I've built this following and I've built some goodwill, oh, here's my new kind of free opt-in to start gathering actual email addresses. Then I can start kind of dripping and offering services in addition to that. So that's kind of my grand plan there. But what I don't have is a platform for it.
Yeah. I was going to say, Laura, one of the struggles is that you can't even download your live videos off Facebook, like Facebook. Right. So
wow, I actually did not know that. That's amazing.
I know.
So you do a Facebook Live, you can't even download it. It's on the platform?
There's a little bit of a backdoor method you can do, but there's no, because I did the same thing. I ran my 30-day challenge, like, this is going to be great content that I can reuse. Nope.
So I tried to hack it. I wonder if there's some liability behind that too. Like if it's on Facebook, it's possibly it's copyright for Facebook or something like that. Maybe because you have to hack it to download it.
Facebook owns it, right? Facebook owns it, and so.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, so like Laura, like in your example though, and for anybody listening who's kind of trying to do what Laura's trying to do, like if I could go back in time, like 8 years and talk to like newbie coach Aaron, I'd say, stop piecemealing, like find a solution that encompasses everything you need, because right now I've got like 12 different tools that are all trying to integrate with each other. And I just like, at some point I'm going to have to clear off the counter and start with some all inclusive tool. And that's really what I'm really getting excited about Ustream, because it's just like everything that you need is already in there. You don't have to start working these integrations and things, difficult integrations, which is the hard part of technology for people who aren't technologically savvy, is the integration piece. Right. So like, it is just an amazing all-in-one tool.
Yeah. And for folks like me that are now realizing, well, first of all, I knew I was going to have to transition. I was just kind of dragging my feet on it, right? So this kind of kicked me in the ass to do something and kind of get something started, because I'm not going to have this brick and mortar gym. I'm selling it. I may open another brick and mortar gym, but I don't want to have to. I'd rather take it online first, and then my vision is to have this like every day is open gym day, kind of like big warehouse garage gym, and people can just come in and train and have that community feeling without me having to coach, 8, 9, 10 classes a day. With something like this, I can run one live class, right? And have it available to people that might want to do it anywhere, whether they come into a brick and mortar gym or whether they're doing it at home. There's just so much usability and just so many different ways that you can take this content and make it available for people on, however you want to do that, whether it's a challenge, whether it's evergreen, whether it's membership. I mean, I just think there's so much that you can do. And I want to encourage everybody right now that is feeling as frustrated as I am with just feeling like you're stuck right now and that you're limited right now due to circumstances that are beyond your control, and shake that off a little bit and start thinking about what you can do. What can you do today to move in that direction, and what tools or resources you might need to find to get there? Something like a Uscreen might be exactly the ticket.
We'll take care of you.
Sorry, I totally just plugged it. I totally just sold your program for you.
That happens every now and then. Well, I actually, like, what I want to do after this call is I want to find somebody on Uscreen who's doing something like what I do, which isn't leading workouts per se. I occasionally do breath work, like I occasionally will do, anyway, long story short, can you give me and the listeners a name of somebody who's doing more of a pure coaching type thing, so I can seek this person out? Like maybe not a physical workout, but maybe just like teaching English or something you mentioned, something like that. That's more educated.
Like an educator.
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite a few actually. So, all right. So I got to pull up my list here, and I'm going to give you guys some good examples of customers. So English, we have one. This is a fun one actually. It's not it's a few individuals, but they've over time, used to be one person, have added a lot more content. One of them is called Magic Stream. It's the Netflix of magic. It's a lot of content for teaching you how to do magic.
Really?
Okay.
Get out of town.
So that's a fun one. And then like individuals. So one of them, for example, this is an individual teaching. It's a little bit of a tough spelling, but it's my, and then IELTS classroom.com. So my IELTS classroom.com. That's a good, it's IELTS course. That's basically, it's teaching that type of content.
Okay.
And then you have another one, it's called Squadia, SQADIA.com. That's medical training. There's a lot of dog training type content. One of them is called considerthedog.com.
This is amazing. Are you do you guys do the web hosting stuff too?
Yeah, everything. The hosting, the video hosting, the streaming, bandwidth, CDN, everything's included. That part you don't even have to think about. We make it very simple.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of audio training, Fader Pro, FADER Pro.com. That's a little bit of a larger site, but they're selling courses.
Amazing. Well,
can I give a makeup one? This one's going really well. It's called signature.tv.
Oh, makeup tutorials.
Signature.tv. It's makeup tutorials.
Those are huge right now. Huge. That's actually what I've been wasting a lot of my time doing. Even though I'd never wear makeup, I'm fascinated by them.
Yeah, this one's pretty amazing. They got really cool Instagram.
Like literally anything you can think of to teach. Like,
that's right.
So cool. I'm a big fan, huge fan. Thank you for coming on the show, PJ.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Because like we are educators, coaches are educators. And we always get people asking us, the number one question that Laura and I get asked by our students and graduates is, okay, how do I scale this? And it's like, we always say we have to have something to scale. You have to have something that you can kind of like own. That's your little piece of the pie. And then there's lots of moving parts to scaling. But one really important moving part is get some technology that enables you to easily do that. And it sounds like this is ticking all the boxes. So I'm very grateful to have crossed paths with you.
Awesome. Yeah, same here.
I can envision. So a health coach builds their quote unquote signature program. Maybe it's a 12-week program. And for the most part, it's relatively organized in that, every week you have a particular topic, educational topic that you might be dealing with, right? So it's relatively structured. So with a platform with something like this, you could have, rather than, if someone's not paying, for your one-on-one in-person coaching program, this is a great way to do a group educational delivery content, right? And also as an evergreen course that's kind of dripped out. Because, and one of the things I have learned, and I think everybody kind of gets why, but video just seems to be a much more impactful communication tool, more so than anything written as far as a blog or a newsletter. It's just much more engaging, and people, I think it's a lot easier for people to trust you, get to know you. You can communicate and illustrate on video that sometimes is much more difficult to do in any kind of written word or purely spoken word. So, you know, you've got your 12-week or 8-week or whatever it is, your signature program, and you've got content that is delivered to pretty much everybody. This is kind of where you can house something like that to make it easy to deliver. And by the way, those of us that live in, this is a total health coaching plug. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this, PJ, but in some states, doing one-on-one guided coaching and delivering personalized nutrition advice is illegal. They can't do that. However, delivering it generally in a group or a general educational course is totally legal anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Totally legal anywhere, right? So you can enroll every single individual client into this little course. It can be delivered on a weekly basis based on when they start their program with you. Now your coaching session is actually a coaching session rather than delivering education, and rather than feeling as though you're delivering any kind of personalized advice that might get you into trouble. So just for health coaches listening that are trying to figure out where this might fit in and just a purely health coaching practice, that's one place where I think this can do a lot of good, and also just provide some protection for the coach.
Yeah, so true. Good point.
There's tons of I actually have a feature request, because when Laura was saying that about how people prefer video these days, it's interesting because I don't. If the video is like 30, if it's 30 seconds long, I'll commit. But if it's longer than that, it's like, yeah, I get stuff to do. I don't know why. That's just my own personal shortcoming. So here's my feature request. And maybe you already have it. I wouldn't be surprised if you do, but like a teleprompter thing. So you can upload a script, and then you can follow your own script while you're doing your live, so that you don't start ranting and like lose people in incoherent rambling.
I love that. No, it's a good feedback, actually. I think there's some live streaming softwares that might do that, but yeah, there's some ways to actually do that currently, but it requires another software. But it's a good feedback. I like that. I love hearing from the audience.
Well, and even just as maybe a cue for people listening who are going to be doing video, like at least have a framework of what you want to say. And maybe there's, like the folks that are doing, the people that are using your platform and are very successful are probably pros at this. But what I've seen that a lot with newbie coaches, that they kind of get on their Instagram stories and it's like 10 minutes later, they're still trying to wrap up their point, and people
that's a good point.
So, yeah, just I think for the educator, like learning how to be concise and because I think people do like video, but I think also our attention spans are at an all-time low.
Absolutely. You got to have some structure when you come to know exactly what you're going to say. Just like any other program you're delivering to your physical audience in person, you're going to have structure. So that's a good point. But video, yeah, you got to be to the point to have a structure in what you're going to say. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Great piece of advice, Erin.
Well, thank you.
Because I have a tendency to ramble too. I you know that. I bought that like Parrot teleprompter.
Yeah.
It was like less than $200.
Great point.
Those are useful.
That's a good plug. That's a good gadget. That's something people should get. It's your iPhone just sits right on it, and then it's recording on your iPhone, correct? And
yeah. So you just you type it out into anything, whether it's Word or even I just use my Notes app on my iPhone. And then I can copy paste that into the Parrot app. And then it just attaches to any camera. I can actually use it on my laptop. I just put it where you can't see it in the camera on my laptop. And you can choose what speed you want it to flow through.
That's right.
And you just read it. And it has kept me from going completely like squirrel, right? It's kept me kind of on task when I have to do something, especially if I'm asked to do a video that's only a certain number of minutes long. It allows me to practice that and make sure I can get it done in that time period. So anybody listening, that's a nifty little tool. If you've got a couple $100, I think it was less than $200. It was worth it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, this has been very fun and very exciting. I'm eager to dig in and see how folks are using this, because I don't know, coaches or educators, whether you're doing fitness, nutrition, health, any kind of topic like that, we are educators, and this is an amazing educational platform, e-learning platform. So I thank you for building it. Thank you for coming and telling us about it.
Absolutely.
Folks who want to learn more about Uscreen, where should they go?
Yeah, you can go to uscreen.tv. That's the letter U, and then screen, like computer screen.tv. And if you want to email me directly, have any questions, you can email me at PJ, so P as in Paul, J as in Jack, at uscreen.tv. Anybody who has joined or watched this show and wants to join and try Uscreen, the default is 14 days trial. We'll extend that for 30 days. So you can simply join, start a trial on the website, and then when you email us, you just let us know you've been on this show, and we'll extend the trial for you. Definitely email me or our sales department, and we're happy to help you and offer an extended trial. Any questions you may have, you can check out the examples on our website to just kind of see how things work and what the customers are doing. And yeah, we're excited to work with a lot more customers to come that are excited to stream and scale their business.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Thanks, PJ.
All right. Thank you.
This podcast was brought to you by Primal Health Coach Institute. To learn more about how to become a successful health coach, get in touch with us by visiting primalhealthcoach.com/call. Or if you're already a successful health coach, practitioner, influencer, or thought leader with a thriving business and an interesting story, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with us at hello@primalhealthcoach.com and let us know why we need to interview you for Health Coach Radio. Thanks for listening.